Greetings, fellow man. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today it is the second video out of my series What's Wrong with Germany? And today I want to talk about basically state subsidized political violence and also generally violence against the current opposition in Germany, the AfD, the Alternative für Deutschland. And that is just one example. There have been many opposition parties in the last years, but they are the first ones who actually have a shot. And there is a lot of violence committed against this party, and the police is not really doing anything. The courts are not really doing anything, and the ruling political parties are actually inciting the people and many groups, especially left-wing groups like Antifa, to target the opposition in Germany. And it is mutually understood that they will go freely and that they are basically under the protection of the government when they attack them. And I want to give a bunch of examples just to outline and to show you what the current situation actually is in Germany and why a lot of people are hesitant to publicly declare their support or even assume a leadership role in the nationalist new party AfD. So first of all, when you decide to support the AfD, when you help them campaigning, or if you put your name on a list to potentially become a candidate for a district parliament or something like that, then the violence pretty soon starts. So what happens normally is that certain groups find out your address, your name and your phone number, and they post it online in certain left-wing forums. And then your car might be burned, or your house might be attacked with paint or with graffiti, or your windows might be smashed in. And also when you are actually in the center of a town during a campaigning season before an election, and you have this booth with info material where you discuss with the electorate, with the people, sometimes some masked people might come along and tear gas you and kick you in the face, that happens, or sometimes they just steal your flyers or just demolish the whole booth, and also the billboards that people put up, the signs with the AfD's logo on before an election, so the advertisement signs basically, they are also targeted in many communities, and in many communities the youth organizations of the left-wing parties, but also the Antifa, the militia group of the communists in Germany, they would selectively destroy all the billboards of the AfD. This has happened in many districts in Germany already, and it is of course a huge financial loss for the party, but also they cannot really campaign in that way, and that is actually highly illegal. But the police never did anything against that, and no judge would ever punish someone who had been caught doing that. But that is a topic for another video, really. So also another thing that happens is that a party must hold meetings, of course, where they would vote on some issue, or where they would select or again vote for, elect the candidates on the higher list positions and all these things, right? So in a community, a party needs to hold annual meetings or meetings before an election, strategic meetings, etc. And what they normally do is that they would rent a pub or a ballroom or some venue like that to hold their meeting. And what happens then is that some anonymous caller would call the owner of that venue and threaten them. First they say, you don't really want to give those people your ballroom or your pub space or something. And then they call again the next day and say, this is a dangerous group, when they arrive on the scene, something bad will happen. And then if they're still not intimidated enough, they will call another time and they say, we will smash your windows. We will hunt you down if you give those people this room for that event. And then what happens most of the time is that an apolitical or sympathetic owner of one of these places, ballrooms or pubs, etc., would actually then, out of fear for his business, would actually cancel the rental agreement. And that happens a couple of days before the event, and then it's really hard for them to find another room. And this is an actual issue, because if they cannot hold these meetings, they cannot be set up correctly for elections. They cannot vote on the program, for example, or these things. And this is really aiming at the core of our democracy, where the government, with the help of their militia, would actually make it um, almost impossible for people to organize as a new opposition party. And this is what I find so cynical. You know, if you complain about certain things in Germany that are going wrong, the cynical politician or history teacher or college professor or whatever, some guy on the left would say, "Oh, why don't you just make your own party then?" Yeah, I mean, these people just did that. They made their own party, and look what happens. They are hunted down in the streets, their cars are burned, their windows are smashed, they are fired from their jobs actually when people find out that they support that party. I mean, it's not a democracy. Wake up. This is not a democracy. And just saying, "Oh, why don't you make your own party then, dude?" That is ridiculous if you treat people who actually do that in such a way. And the violence is only coming from one side. And this is where I really see the parallel to the US, where you also see that the Clinton campaign, for example, paid people to start fights at Trump events or things like that. But in Germany, you have to imagine it's really much worse than that. I mean, they did all that. I mean, they also have people there who actually want to kick their asses, and not just one or two people who start fights and that looks bad in the media. No, there will be like 1,000 people who want to storm the place. And this is really reminiscent of the Weimar Republic, where the Rotfront, the communists, and the SA for the Nazis, and the Stahlhelmbund for the monarchists, where they really attacked each other in the cities, or when one of the parties had an event or a meeting, the others tried to storm it, and to shut it down. And this was very violent, and sometimes even led to the death of some of these militiamen. And nowadays, we don't have many militias. We basically just have a left-wing militia, and they are used against the conservatives at the moment. And there is no violence from the conservative side. There is violence from the left. And actually, they are directly subsidized by taxpayers' money. This year it was 50 million euros of taxes that went directly into the pocket of these left-wing radical organizations. And next year they want to double that amount to 100 million euros. So here you have a government, a state, that is using the taxes of the citizens directly to subsidize a militia force that is used to terrorize the opposition in Germany. And of course, our police is fully militarized, and when they campaign now in the cities, there are actually police officers there who protect the AfD, but yeah, they also don't go after the people who are the aggressors, really. It is pretty much like Clinton saying that she wants to fight ISIS. It's ridiculous, right? She is the one who created them in the first place, and the government are the ones, on the left-wing parties are actually the ones who subsidize and protect these left-wing radicals, and then they put one police or two police officers there to protect the AfD. So the message can be heard loud and clear: if you support the AfD, you will be made a target, and your children will be targeted, your wife might be targeted, or your spouse in general, and you will not be safe anymore in Germany. And this is one of the reasons why people are hesitant, because the suffering in Germany is just not that bad yet. Our life is still very good. We just worry about the future. But you don't get a revolution if people just worry about the future in 10 years, when their life is still at the moment great for most of the people in Germany, comparatively great. Not everyone, of course, but if you do research on when to expect a revolution, the Arab Spring comes to mind, when you have a large youth unemployment, and for one retiring old man, there are like 4 or 5 young men coming after him. No perspective for a career, and they're all unmarried young men with no money living with their parents. Yeah, they will do a revolution. But the people in Germany at the moment, they worry a lot about the future, but they don't suffer yet. So normally this is how people are, not just Germans. I mean, people, when their life is still good at the moment, they will not risk everything and grab an illegal gun and march on the parliament, or on the government. That's what they do when they are actually suffering. Maybe we see that in the future, but at the moment, this apparatus of repression is still working, combined with the relative luxury and the relative quality of life that we still enjoy in Germany here. It is working to that effect that it makes people still sympathetic and supportive of the AfD, but not openly so, and the system will be maintained for quite a bit still before, I think, economic conditions get much worse. Okay, so I hope you found this little glimpse into the violence that the government commits directly or indirectly against the new opposition party in Germany informative. I hope that now maybe you know why in Germany not many people are openly declaring their support for this party, and why we are so hesitant to go against our government, really, because there is that much at stake for us. Okay, so catch you guys again soon. Servus, Kameraden.